YouTube. In this SiteCatalyst 15 tutorial, we will be going over dashboards, specifically how to add reports to dashboards, how to manage dashboards, as well as how to configure dashboards, all the different options within the dashboards that you can play with, etc. So, getting started, you can see here I'm starting off with a page views report, and I'm looking at the previous month. It's currently July. I'm looking at June. And you can see here you have a dashboard option here in the navigation, and any report that has this dashboard option in the navigation means that that report can be added to a dashboard. There are a few reports, not very many, within SiteCatalyst that cannot be added to a dashboard. So if you do not see the dashboard option up here, that means basically that that report is not able to be added to a dashboard. And there's a variety of technical reasons behind those reports not being able to work with dashboards. So when you click on dashboard up there, you get this pop-up menu, and I'll go ahead and bring this out into the center here. And you have a few options here. First, you have a report title. If you have customized the report that you're adding to the dashboard, you might want to have a custom name for it, or you can leave it as the default name. You want to place it in a dashboard, and you can either create a new dashboard or add it to an existing dashboard if you wish. I'm going to go ahead and place it into a new dashboard. I'm going to call it Dashboard Training. And then here for the date, it shows again the previous month. You can always change the date range here if you wish, or leave it as to whatever date range you happen to run your report in. And then you have options between rolling or fixed dates. Rolling basically means that as the dates roll, in this case every month, the report will roll along with it. So as of August 1st, this report will show for July data and not June data. Although if you wish to fix the dates, you can hit fixed on one end and it will always be June 1st. When you do that, the rolling switches from monthly to daily, so that every day it adds another day's worth of data, while it'll always be anchored with June 1st as the first day. You can also switch this one to fixed as well and just always have the month of June, and that's it. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as rolling for now. There are some publishing list settings over here. I'm going to cover publishing lists in another tutorial, so I am going to just leave that unchecked for now. And create new. And you'll notice as you create it, you don't get to go directly into a dashboard. It just gives you a little dialog up here with a check mark saying that it has been successfully added to the dashboard. This allows you to go out and run a few more reports and add them to the dashboard before playing with it. I'm going to keep this dashboard pretty simple, but I will go ahead and add a couple of more reports just so that we have something to play with. So I'm going to go ahead and add a visits report. I'm just going to leave everything as it is. You'll notice here that it remembers the last dashboard I added data to, and so therefore it gives me that one, and that's where I want to add it. So I'm going to go ahead and create new there as well. And let's see, I will do pages. And with this particular one, I'm going to go ahead and customize it a little bit. So I'm going to do trended instead of ranked. And I will do a trend line instead of a vertical bar. And once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the dashboard, and I am going to call this the trended pages report. And I'm going to leave everything else the same. Alright, and I think I'll add one more, and I think I will do operating system on mobile. And you notice here that it's in a trended and trended with a trended line graph, just the way it was with the previous report. It kind of remembers the way I was looking at the previous report, and it's giving me that in this particular format as well. And let's say I actually want this to be ranked. So I'm going to switch this one back to ranked. However, I think I'd rather do a stacked vertical bar. No, stacked vertical doesn't make any sense. Let's do pie chart instead. Might actually be more interesting. There we go. And so we'll go ahead and add that to the dashboard as well. And I'm just going to keep everything the same, except I want to make sure that I'm saying that this is a mobile operating system report. Alright, so from here there's two different ways you can get to your dashboard that you just created. One is going up to favorites under dashboards, and here you can see the dashboard we created. Two is there is a link here up in the navigation after it says that you've successfully added to the dashboard. You can click there. You may want to go this route, dashboards over here, but since it's a brand new dashboard and we haven't really saved it yet, we've just kind of created it, but it's kind of not completely ready to go. It hasn't been put over into this navigation over here yet. So these two methods, this way under favorites and this link over here, are basically the two ways to get to it right now. And I'm going to go ahead and click this. It's faster than going up into the favorites menu. Alright, so as you can see, it's basically a blank dashboard. The reports that we added are over here on your left, and you can drag and drop them in once you kind of figure out what configuration you want. And then there's other options in here which we'll go over in a moment. So first things first, I need to figure out, do I want a 3x2 or a 2x2 layout? I have 4 reports, so for right now, let's say I'm just going to go for a 2x2 layout and go from there. And I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to just start dragging and dropping these reports in here. So I got the page views report, the visits report, the trended pages report, and finally the mobile operating systems report. Alright, so here are our 4 reports, and basically right now with the way I have them laid out, they're only showing the trended graphs, either the bar graphs or the line charts, etc., and not showing any of the detailed data. So there's other ways we can display this data, so I'm going to go ahead and add a page, and this time I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. And in this case I'm going to do pages over here, visits over here, but I don't have to keep them in this size. You notice that you have these arrows here, so you can actually resize them, and there you have your charts with all of your data. So you have your visits data here and everything else. Now there is a limitation in terms of how many rows can be displayed. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're showing your data on a per day basis. You're only going to get the raw data here for the first 15 days for page views, and since the visits report has a total visits row, you're only going to get the first 12 days. So keep that in mind. If you're doing a like a whole year with month over month, you'll be getting all 12 months in no problem, but a whole 30-day month, if you're doing daily view of data, you're just not going to get all the data in here. It just doesn't fit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add one more page and show you another way to display. So I'm going to, at this point for what I'm showing, it doesn't matter if I do 3x2 or 2x2, but I'll do 2x2 and do the page views again. We'll do the pages, and this time I'm going to cover the entire page. I can click here to the right and I can click down, and it covers the entire page. This is useful especially if you have a lot of data. You want to show all the details, not just the graph, and you have a lot of metrics, or if you're doing a trended like this where you have the top 5 trended, it gives you a chance to show all of the data across to a certain degree. If you have like 20 metrics that you're trying to show, it's just not going to all fit in the width here, but it does give you more options in terms of how much you can fit into the width. This report here, if you see here, if I scrunch it up, you notice that you can't see all 5 of the trended data, but you do get to see all 5 with it in the width. So you do have a chance to play around with things like that. Obviously with the 3x2 you can make the widget smaller, etc., depending on how you want to display your data. Now let me go ahead and I'm going to add one more page here, and you can actually add some data to this report without going out and running reports within SiteCatalyst. There are custom reportlets that you can add as well. So here under data content you have a company summary. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that so you can see what that looks like real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just expand it out. And then here you have company summary. You can look at different report suites. Right now here is showing all of these report suites. I'm gonna go ahead and just select all the ones I don't want, because I only want it for one report suite. But if you wanted a company summary across multiple report suites, you can do so. So that's the nice thing about the company summary. And then you can have various metrics that you can look at as well, all as a so there's various metrics you can take a look at all in one kind of group. If you have numerous events, you wanted to look at numerous custom variables, etc. You can look at all that. You have average time spent. You can, let's say we want to add total time spent. I don't have revenue on my site because I have a lead generation site, so I'm not going to be able to add that. I can add bounces. I can add average visit depth, etc. So let me go ahead and update this report. And here you can see I've got it for only a single report suite. If you have multiple report suites, especially, this is a very useful tool, so you can actually compare these metrics across multiple report suites. In this particular case, I only have the one, so you kind of have to have the width of it to be able to see, because it all comes across in the width of this report. But as you can see, that would be a very useful little widget to add to your dashboard if you have multiple report suites that you wanted to compare side by side. Another one that I find very useful, and here I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just remove that page, and I'm going to add a 3x2 reportlet, a 3x2 size page, and for that I'm going to add a metric gauge. The metric gauge is very useful. There's actually one particular data point that you really only can get from the metric gauge, and that is the average time spent on site. There really is no report that runs this. And here you can see we've got red, yellow, green. Well, average time on site, depending, if they're not spending very much time on site, is that depending on the goals of your website, you can actually say that a little time on site is a bad thing, or you could say it's a good thing. So it depends on if you want it green, yellow, red, red, yellow, green, etc. You can have blue, gray, red, and not have the red, green kind of connotation. That kind of thing, red, gray, blue. There's a number of different color options here that you have. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the red, yellow, green, and I'm going to say that if someone is spending less than 2 minutes on my site, that is a negative. If they are spending less than 5 minutes, or sorry, more than 5 minutes, that is a good thing. And anywhere in between is kind of yellow. So I am going to go ahead and I want to do the dial. There's a dial, a bar, and a bulb. And then click update, and here you go. So right now the average time spent on my website is about 3.13 minutes. So it's more than 2 minutes, it's not quite more than 5, but it's not necessarily a bad number. But and you can kind of play around with those numbers and things. If you click here on change settings, you can come back in here and you can play with these numbers in order to change how things display on the gauge. Although you do want to make sure that once you set it, that you always keep it at those numbers. Otherwise, you're comparing apples to oranges month over month if you're constantly changing it to make sure the dial is always in the green. You don't want that. You just kind of want to figure out what your standard is and kind of go with that. And then, of course, with the metric gauge, there's lots of other options you can do. Here you can see average visit depth, bounce rates, various other variables throughout here that you can add. Alright, and then if for some reason you decide you don't want another metric gauge, or you don't want a particular report where you have it and you just want to get rid of it for now, you just drag it off into this gray striped area and it just kind of goes away. And kind of goes back into this area here. And here I can just delete them off of here entirely if I wanted to. The ones that are in green are the reports that are actually in the dashboard already. The ones that are in black are ones that aren't being used currently. So I can go ahead and get rid of any of the ones I'm not using. Alright, other types of reports that we have, and I'm going to go ahead and remove this metric gauge as well, and I'm going to show you the report suite summary. So where the company summary was across multiple report suites, the report suite summary is a summary from within just a single reports suite. Alright, so we've got those metrics. Let's go ahead and add a few others just to kind of take a look. at what all this looks like. Alright, and here we have high-low dates and values, or you can just show total metrics, displaying your high point column, low point column, etc. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Alright, so here we have all the key metrics, the low date. So this is the date where this particular metric was the lowest and what that value was, and what date we had the highest and what that value was. So here you can see that on July 7th my total time spent was 0 for that day, but I had 1,260, and I'm guessing that that is total minutes spent on the site that particular day. So I had a lot of minutes being spent on my site that day and 0 on the 7th. If you don't like that data or just aren't interested, you just want to show total metrics, you can just switch to that, click update, and then here's just your standard total metrics for the current. Here you have July, and so that's the time frame that we're looking at, and the total metrics for each one of those metrics there. And you can see it doesn't quite fill up the whole page, so I can go ahead and just resize it, and then I have room for 3 other reportlets at the bottom. Alright, so that is how you can use the custom reportlets, and then you can kind of go in here and you can play with other dashboards. You can grab data from other dashboards and bring them into this dashboard. Looking at your shared dashboards, the same thing. Looking at your bookmark folders and seeing if there's any bookmarks, reports that you want to use that you can actually bring into a report as well. I could bring in this next page report and bring that in as well for from my bookmarks. So there's all sorts of options in terms of what you can display in here. Then one thing that's really nice feature is that you can actually bring in data from other report suites. So you can have multiple report suites showing data here, so it doesn't have to all be one report suite. That's where, like in the company summary, obviously it's across multiple report suites, but you can also get data from other report suites into this dashboard as well. Another nice feature with the dashboards is the fact that you don't have to have the same date along every single report. So most of the ones that I added here are all June. You'll notice at the bottom here that some of them are showing July data instead. If I wanted them to all be June and not some June, some July, I can go up here, and this particular calendar will change the dates across every single reportlet within the dashboard. So let's say I want everything to be June. I will make sure I'm selecting June, click update, and every report here will update itself. If it was June, it'll stay June, and if it wasn't June, like these down here, they are now displaying June instead of July, which is a really nice feature. But let's say you don't want everything to be June. You want to see visit page views for June, but you want to see visits for July. Or let's say you don't want, let's say you want it from like May 27th through today, through July. So you want to have a wider time range. And so you have the custom time range showing here, and here you've got the month of June. And the way to change that is just by clicking directly on the date within the reporting period on that. You can either update or cancel, but you just have to click on that. And if you wanted to change the report suite, so you wanted that exact same report, but you wanted to see it from a different report suite instead, you can select any report suite. So you can have data from various report suites and various dates within the same dashboard, which I think is a really nice feature of the dashboard. Alright, so besides adding pages and things, here you'll see paper. You can also go ahead, and here we have letter landscape as the default display. You can also do letter portrait instead in how you're displaying your reports. Or you also have A4 landscape and A4 portrait. Depending on how if you're going to be printing these out, you can lay these out in a format that is most friendly for the type of printing you're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go back to letter landscape. Okay, now that you know how to add reports, how to configure the dashboard, etc., up here I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of the other options you have, including saving. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Then you can also save as. So let's say you're taking an existing dashboard and you decide that you want this particular dashboard, but you want to have a couple of other things for a different audience. So you can use this as a template and add and remove the bits and pieces that you want to change, and then just save it with a different name. Alright, so you can download the dashboard. By doing that, you just click on that and it automatically generates it as a PDF format. PDF is the only format that you can download a dashboard as, and so it just kind of automatically downloads as a PDF. And I'm just kind of going to let it wait until it finishes generating. Alright, and as you can see, it just pops up, gives you a chance to save the PDF, etc. Which I'm not going to go ahead and do right now. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel. Another option here is print, and it pops up a window with a printer-friendly format which you can then print from. Alright, so here's the printer-friendly format. As you can see, I can expand this window a bit, and you can always review it before going ahead and printing it, but this is how it will print. I will close that out. Alright, then you can also opt to send it, and you can send it as either PDF or HTML. So you do have a second option here, and HTML basically embeds the dashboard into the email itself. And if people who are receiving it do not have a way of seeing or viewing HTML emails, it may come out funny and etc. So normally, unless you know everyone that is receiving it is on the same email system, PDF might be recommended. And then here is who to send it to. You can add a publishing list, which is again something I will go into in more detail, but basically the publishing list is a list of people that you can publish data to. And those are report suite specific. Subject of it, and you can always change the subject, that's editable. Scheduling, so you can either schedule it to send immediately, or then here are a variety of scheduling options. Or you can archive this, and you can send this to an archive that can be gathered. You can archive this dashboard. The archive can always be retrieved later. Then there's advanced delivery options. So we have here, and then here obviously still PDF or HTML. So here's the report file name, in which case you can either use the default or you can customize it. You can send HTML and include the HTML version, so you can do both if you wish. You could send it as a compressed zip file if you think the dashboard's going to be too large. Or you can just archive sent reports. So you can actually schedule things to be sent into an archive as well. Then you have language for the header and footer, depending on the default language of the recipient. You can send a digital signature file if you have one. Report destination, you can do it via email, or you can even send it via FTP to a particular server location. So if you have a shared server location where lots of people are going to be accessing the dashboards, you can just FTP it there directly. Again, here's your publishing list from, and you can customize all of these, the subject, and then even allow yourself to have some notes. And then there's scheduling options, send report now, schedule for later, and then all of your scheduling options as well, which I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. Right now we are in layout mode. Layout mode means that we are able to, and I'm going to close the send. Layout mode means that we are in the editable version of the dashboard. If I deselect that, this is sort of the viewable version of the dashboard, where you can view the dashboard and look at the data, but you can't manipulate anything unless you are in layout mode like that. Then I showed you save and save as. A few other options. There is a print preview, a view archive, so you can access the archive and view everything that's been archived, or here is the option to set as landing page. So you can actually set your dashboard as your landing page. So instead of the default landing page that you currently have, which I'm going to go ahead and go in here. So currently my landing page is Site Overview, which is the default landing page. But if I just so choose, and here you can see under the favorites dashboard that my dashboard now is showing because I have now saved it. Let me go ahead and go back in here, and all of these options up here that were available in layout mode are available without being in layout mode, including set as landing page. So now I have set this successfully as my landing page. So now if I go back into SiteCatalyst reporting, you'll notice that my landing page now displays my dashboard instead. So you can either display a dashboard or a specific bookmark as your landing page instead. So those are all the various things that you can do with dashboards. And the final thing I will show you under favorites is how to manage dashboards. There's a couple of other options regarding dashboards over here. One, if you have the dashboard player installed, you can actually play it as a slideshow. Shared, so if you wish to share your dashboard, you click on this and then you can share and share. And I'm going to go ahead and do the dashboard training here. So this is now shareable. And share means just basically, you can see here all the shared dashboards down here. It now shows up in the shared dashboards list, so everybody who has access to the SiteCatalyst account can view all shared dashboards, including my own. Or I can specifically, once it's set to share, I can push to a specific user. So I can click on that, just expand this out a little bit, and then you can see all of the different users for this particular account, and I can push this particular dashboard specifically to certain folks, and they will get a notification of the dashboard as well. And let's say I don't want to share, I can just unshare by clicking that. If you have a dashboard that's been scheduled, it will actually show, this icon will be colored, and then if you want to change the schedule at all, you can actually manage that from here with all of the same options that we just discussed a moment ago. Also, you can edit your dashboard from here. You can make a copy of the dashboard, so you can make a copy and see now you have a copy of it, and now you can go in and actually edit the copy and make changes, rename it, etc. But it'll continue to have the same name until you change that. Or you can go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to go ahead and delete the copy. A couple of other options here. So of the shared dashboards that are available to me, I have two options. One is Copy Me. This gives me a complete copy of that dashboard available in my dashboards list. That copy I can then edit, manipulate, and change in any way, shape, or form that I wish. Or we have an on menu option. On menu basically means, and here I can show you, I will select this one to be on menu. So I have the Martin Costlin and the Daniel Cowell ones as on menu. And I will do Cynthia Pacheco as a copy me, and you can see here it says new dashboard. Alright, within the shared dashboards there are a couple of other options that you have, including the dashboard player. You can do a copy or add on menu or unshare. So basically you don't want to see the shared report. It's not going to delete the report, it's not going to delete the dashboard itself, it's just going to delete it from your view so that you don't see it again. Difference between Copy Me and On Menu, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Copy Me gives you a copy of that specific dashboard that you can then manipulate, edit, and change in any way, shape that you wish. On Menu adds a copy of the same dashboard onto your menu, but it's not a copy that you can change. However, whenever the original author makes a change to it, you will get the changes pushed to you automatically. So that's the differences. One is one that you can manipulate, and one that you just want to keep an eye on, but you want to allow the original author to manipulate. Alright, so I'm going to make it a selection here. I'm going to do the Copy Me on the Acceleration Biz Marketing New. And then I will do an on menu of the Custom Reports one, just to kind of show how those display. So you notice here we have Acceleration Biz Marketing New showing up under my dashboards. And if I go into SiteCatalyst reporting, so here's my navigation, and here is the Acceleration Biz Marketing New. So that's the copy one, so that's the one I did a Copy Me on that I can manipulate and change. And under shared dashboards over here now I have custom reports. And custom reports is one that I can view, but I can never edit myself. And so that's the difference there, and that's why dashboards versus shared dashboards shows up in that fashion. Alright, I think that basically covers everything about dashboards in SiteCatalyst 15. If I have missed anything or if I have misspoken at all, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, is there anything that I went over too quickly? Is there something that I missed? Or something that you didn't quite understand in my explanation? Please leave comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or concerns going forward. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time. Alright, I think that covers everything about dashboards. If I have missed anything, if I've misspoken about anything and you wish to correct me, or if you have any questions, if there's anything that I explained that didn't make any sense, please feel free to leave comments below. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye. Alright, I think that covers everything about dashboards. Please, if there are any questions or comments that you wish to make about this video, please feel free to leave the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found this useful, please like the video. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, please take care. Bye-bye.